Da 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 da. What's my good cheer? Welcome, welcome, everybody. It is Friday, and for most people, I would say they do that Monday to Friday and they have their weekends off to go to the cottage or spend with the family or the kids. For myself, and it's not just because I'm more mature, one day just seems to blend into another. And I have my own little pocket. And I think my pocket suits me just well when I'm out there enjoying my time off. Everybody else is doing the busy in their own lives, and I can, right, still go about my life kind of unnoticed, right? And the blonde hair, it is that statement, that allowance that I give myself to be myself, to be that person that can be seen and can be heard. But in all honesty, I am a very private person. My group is very small, if not nil in the moment, but that's in the moment. And I have been attached to so many amazing individuals and groups. And each one of those experiences was an experience, and right, gave me a little bit of something to add to that tool belt. Just even, hello, Andrew. Just in that idea that, I'm not in this all by myself, even though it seems like it can be that way, right? We're all part of something bigger. And, just like Andrew popping in right now, Andrew is one of my moderators for my Sunday night live show, uh, Chatters Live. And I've had that show for years, long before What's My Good Cheer came to YouTube. It was actually a show that I created on Instagram, in all truth. And, in that growth, in that movement that, right, we eventually make, we all eventually make. It's just, right, how we apply ourselves, how we use those gifts and those experiences that we have now, right, made possible at arm's length as tools for ourselves. And lots of those experiences were just being the spectator in other people's experiences. And that's the truth. I never had to go through some of those heartbreaks and some of those frustrations, some of those aggravations. But at the same time, I didn't get to go through some of those joys. And yet, right, a big part of the world is going about their life right now, not even with a dream or a hope of some of these adventures that I'm in the works in. You guys, oh my goodness. I have a designated book here for the cards that I am working on in powerful words. This week we got an amazing word called grace. And when I came in tonight, I said, I'm just going to, or this afternoon, I says, I'm just going to dedicate it in gratefulness. And in a way, I don't know, maybe it's just the prelude into it. I do want to end this week, right? This handling of this very important word, because this important word answers so many questions for us in a way we have no control in, a way that we are totally mesmerized and awed at the magicness, because it's almost like magic, a miracle. It's something that should never have happened. I actually looked up, Andrew, I don't know if you knew this. I looked up the definition of grace, and in the Christian ideas, it is an undeserved miracle. Now, let me know what you think on this. I looked at it in a different perspective. I looked at grace as something that swoops in when there's nothing else, right? When it's the end, when there's absolutely, you pulled at every last string, every possibility, every thought, every ounce of energy and breath, right? That's grace when it comes in when you have completely gone to nothing, to zero. You know, and whether you're deserving or not, I suspect if, right, you made it this far, oh my goodness, humans in some form have been around for a very, very long time, like hundreds of thousands, millions of years in some form, right? And if you believe like me, right, that one celled amoeba wasn't an amoeba, but it was something one celled, and that we all just moved together for a little bit, and then some of us broke off, right? And some of those broke off. And, I don't know if you've ever seen what an anthill looks like. Sometimes, craftspeople, they pour aluminum down an anthill and they make art creations. If you Googled it on YouTube, I'm sure something would come up. You would be absolutely amazed by the trailings of the workings of the ants. Ant hills are architectural works of wonder, no question. And mankind, I do believe, has been moving like that, right? And I suspect with a little bit of direction and some things that we have no control over, that those shifts in grace that have to come and swoop in because we couldn't get there to ourselves, because we're not quite there, we're not the all, what do you call that, be all to end all, the grand poobahs that we'd like to think that we are, right? That there is sequencing, and I have been a participant in the sequencing in these words that we have been working on for the past 40 or so weeks. That sequencing is important, right? It's important in lots of aspects of of our lives. What came to my mind is that word that just slipped out of my mouth, jobs, right? When you go in to apply for a job, and if you're lucky enough, right, that job is yours. That how you move up in that company, if you so choose to move up in that company, is to gain that experience, right? To gain that knowledge. Or you could be the laziest, right, employee ever, and maybe keep your job for a couple of weeks, and you might have, right, put away a little bit of, right, experience, a little bit of know-how, right? But not as much as if you had truly applied to yourself. And that's where our choices come in. There are some things I have no control over. I'm not crying over spilt milk, but the things that I do have control over, right? It's not gonna like I'm gonna have it in a death throw, or right, or chokehold or anything. But this is my life, right? Above all else, I am human, creating the most spectacular life for myself as I possibly can. And then in the evidence, you might not look at this life that I put together for myself and go, oh my goodness, she's grateful for that. I'd have to say, absolutely. Absolutely. From the pretty blouse that I'm wearing, to the household decor, to the laptop that I'm talking to you on, to the wonderful vacation that I'm planning. And in planning that, it's giving me some space to be human and to practice that creativity that sometimes gets stifled in the lessons, because again, sometimes we are spectators, sometimes we are participants, sometimes we are students, sometimes we are teachers, right? But there has to be time allotted for all of that. And oh my goodness, I am so grateful to be invited to the party. We have 8 minutes. Had a little running to do yesterday. I caught my bus, but right, I don't like to be that person that is not on time. I've never missed a shift in my entire life, but I tell you, every once in a while I can be late, and it's not a good feeling, especially when you're highly sensitive and empathic. That guilt and shame will surface to no hull every single time, right? When I miss my bus, I don't like to let people down, especially when I dedicate out of gratitude, out of gratefulness for that job that allows me to ground in that when I get too high in this, right? That I need that time to be reminded that you're human, right? Earn that paycheck, earn that amazing vacation that you're putting together. And oh my goodness, I'm doing that too at the same time. I think I'm going to Herkimer, New York to dig for Herkimer diamonds. I think if I'm not close, right? Right? That's a long trip to drive. If I'm going to be so close to Herkimer, I might as well extend the trip a little bit. Maybe I'll take that route to where I want to go in Bancroft, or maybe I'll do Bancroft first and then, right, take a little bit of a tour of Canada and the United States on my vacation. It's in the works, right? But I'm keeping you up to date on that because it is bringing me a great lot of joy, right? There's a lot of research in that. And at the same time, right, I'm moving forward. So those lessons have to come in between, right? Because we don't sacrifice. That movement forward is exactly what we're doing, right? Why? Because I'm so grateful because it could have been a different story. I see people going through not the same thing, but similar things and totally unaware of it, just like a bumper car, that person that I was, right? And you can't get through there, right? They don't get it. Right? So I'm grateful to get it in some ways that at the very least that takes that worry, it keeps that stress, it keeps that things that I want to control. Ooh, what's that? Oh my goodness, let's delve down that road, right? And be the expert in that and have all the tools and the experiences in that. Stuff those in there, and then I get trapped in that experience when I wasn't supposed to get trapped in that experience because I'm going that way, or I'm going that way, or I'm going that way. Right? Maybe I'm even going that way, right? I'm riding those waves while I'm creating the best human being I possibly can. And it's super enjoyable. It takes my mind off the hairy skin. Appreciate the things that I have, a little bit of that gratefulness given to be woken up to some of these ideas because there is no question it could have been a different story, and there's a lot of credit to be had, and right, right, and for the most part I'm never going to know where those gifts came from, but they came from me, and I am grateful for them, and I'm grateful from where they come, and I hope there's a little bit of movement in what moved me because right, you get what you give, and I do believe that, and I believe it more now than I've ever believed it for, right? My dad and his silly quotes, right? They were just silly quotes, silly quotes that kept me stuck, kept me getting in trouble, right? Don't turn the other cheek. Oh my goodness, right? Always say turn the other cheek, always getting in trouble, right? But I go to somebody and say, "Oh, Tracy did this." Two wrongs don't make a right. I couldn't win, but I'm grateful to be invited to the party, right? That I, at the very least, know, right, right. What was I waiting for? Didn't know. I wasn't listening, right? Grateful to have that knock upside the head that started that ball moving, that snowball down the hill, that snowball that's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But I'm going to enjoy, right? I'm going to enjoy that ride. I'm not going to be maneuvered or pressured, right? I'm not going to rush it and make bad decisions, right? I'm going to make enough bad decisions just naturally. I'm not going to search them out, right? I'm not going to, just in my desperation of wanting things yesterday. Yeah. That ain't going to happen, right? So grateful to recognize the rules of playing a good game. There you go. That's a great way to end this conversation on grace, right? Grace is a big word, it's a heavy word, and I just kind of ended it a little bit silly. But sometimes, right, that's the humanness of it, right? That's the whistle while you work, right? Smiling, right? Through the difficult times, or recognizing those small little joys that pop into our life consistently while we're struggling something else and we're just kind of get away right. I'm busy and it's trying to come in, but we're so busy that we're just brushing it off, right? That's what not what I want for myself, and I wouldn't want that for anybody else, and there's a lot of that going on out there for sure, but we are getting better at it, right? It might not look like it, but 100% we are. Okay, you guys, that's my good cheer. We'll be back Sunday night with Chatters Live if you want to come and hang out with us, 7:30-ish. Central, you saw the little giggle, the guilt to Jade coming in after I say that, but right, it is what it is, and I have to just take it as that. It's all in the lessons, and I am a work in progress. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, everybody, for popping in live. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend, and we'll be back on Monday with our 40th word. And I know already what that word is. It's a redo. Okay, you guys, have a great weekend. See you Monday.